Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Talking about the beginner's mindset today, and gave you some questions to ask yourself on if you have that beginner's mindset. I want to read a quote real quick from David Brooks, and he says this. He says, "Success leads to the greatest failure, which is pride. And failure leads to the greatest success, which is humility and learning." Success leads to the greatest failure, which is pride. And that would be the opposite, the antithesis of the beginner's mindset. In that beginner's mindset, we are constantly failing, we're constantly learning, we're constantly growing. We are at the opposite of pride. We're humble, and it might be because of our age. Many times, as I think about youthfulness, I think about the beginner's mindset. I think about youthfulness, and why are we youthful? Well, we're young, but why else? What is the mindset of a young person, of a person that is joyful? Well, life is an adventure. Life is an experiment. Life is a journey. Life is this adventure to be had that we're looking at, and we are feeling our way through, and we're asking questions, and it's okay to make mistakes. That is the beginner's mindset. That's how beginners operate and experience life, and that's that beginner's mindset. As I think through this, and this might be a little more philosophical in approach as I talk about the beginner's mindset, but just roll with me here. I'll get real specific. What I've found in life and what I've seen in life is that many times experts are they're students in their own field, in the field that they're an expert in. Many times, if I know, okay, let me give an example. I'm a John Maxwell team coach, and John is a student of leadership. He's constantly learning from other leaders. He's constantly following other leaders, reading their books, trying to understand and get better in the area of leadership. Now, he's an expert. He's a global guru. Various magazines have deemed him the leadership guru, all that kind of stuff. But he's constantly learning. He's constantly developing. He's constantly getting better at his skill set. Another mentor here in town that has a long track record of business success could continue to be a consultant and coach and do fantastic at it, but decided to go and get certified and go through the training. Why? Because he is an expert. And that's why. That's why he went and got more training, because he knows that if he's going to continue to be an expert, he's going to have to continue to grow and develop. So experts are always students in the field that they're an expert in. As I look at other people, someone like a Ted Turner, this beginner's mindset. I remember seeing an interview of him on CNN years ago, and he was asked the question. He said, how did you feel every time he tried to do this sailboat competition around the world? How did you feel every time that you failed? Year after year, you failed at trying to sail around the world. And he said, I never viewed it as failure. I viewed it as learning how to win. Learning how to win. So I want to ask you, in life, I talked about in my brief video some signs that you do not have the beginner's mindset. Do you fear failure? Do you believe your own press? Do you believe the hype that is around you and about you? Because if you believe that hype that is around you and about you, then you won't ask for help. You won't humble yourself. You won't ask questions. You won't learn. You won't grow, because there's this aura, there's this concept, there's this idea out there that you are beyond needing help. No, if we want to grow, if we want to develop, if we want to get better every single day, the only guarantee that tomorrow will be better than today is if we grow. If we take time to invest in ourselves and develop ourselves. If you are operating tomorrow with the same thinking, with the same understanding that you went in today, then what is going to make tomorrow any better? We've got to grow. We've got to develop. We've got to humble ourselves. We've got to ask questions. We've got to try new things. Zig Ziglar said, failure is only proof that you're trying something new. So I want to ask you, do you have any proof around your life that you're trying something new? If you saw my video yesterday, I have a little light on the other side of the camera here just to give some front light so you're not just being blinded by that light in the ceiling there. And the light fell over. And look, I have this little janky setup in my office, and I'm doing these videos. It's about the process. That would be considered a failure. Oh my gosh, maybe I should cut the video. Maybe I should cut the live. No, I love to do live because it's more like real life. I'm a speaker by trade, so I go out, I speak, I train. This, whether you know it or not, this is my practice. I believe it was Bruce Lee that said, "You fight how you train." You fight how you train. So this is my training ground. I could practice with nobody around. I could practice and record videos and have them be perfect and put them out there. And when people buy my stuff, I do make sure they're perfect and I edit them and get them great like that. But this is my practice field. This is my opportunity to try out content. Many times, an idea, the stuff that I'm talking about on these live sessions, about half of them are content that I've worked on, that I've delivered, that I've shared in trainings. But another half is stuff that's just in my head and it's floating around. I'm trying to formulate the thoughts and the ideas that are going on in my head. And many times those thoughts and ideas don't become clear until they pass through your lips or your fingertips, until you speak them or you write them down. Which is why it's so important to write down our goals. But what am I saying here? I'm saying that we have to constantly be growing. We have to constantly be developing. We have to constantly be failing, and that is a sign that we're trying. We're growing. We have that beginner's mindset that we're getting better. That's the only guarantee that tomorrow is going to be better than today. And so I want to challenge you. Embrace that beginner's mindset. Try something new. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks or what you think the aura around you is, that you've got it all together and that everything is in place now and you have nothing more to learn. You're the expert. Well, hey, like I told you earlier, experts are the ones many times that are the greatest students. They're constantly learning. They're constantly growing. They're constantly training, allowing their brain to be molded and renewed and changed so that they can have new thoughts and new concepts and new ideas, and they can grow and develop and be better tomorrow than they are today. So I want to encourage you, embrace that beginner's mindset. Beginners invest in training. They invest in learning and growing. Take time out of your day. Learn, grow, invest in yourself, develop yourself. Maybe you've been in sales for a long time. Get training. Maybe you've been in leadership for a long time. Get training. Get a coach. Maybe you've been in a role for an extended amount of time. Get training, whatever specific training to your role that you need. Go get it. Get better. Keep growing. Keep that beginner's mindset. I'm telling you, it'll make life so much more fun. It'll put life back into an adventure again. That dissatisfaction that you may have in life right now will begin to dissipate because you'll be pushing yourself, getting out of your comfort zone, and growing and developing, and that youthfulness will come back into you as you operate with that beginner's mindset of learning, growing, and developing. I hope that helps you today. Hope that encourages you, and I hope you go out and you learn and you develop and you take on that mindset of a beginner. So that's what I got for you today, and I will see you tomorrow and share something else.